Namaste and welcome to Sutra Network, your trusted link to news, views, and stories that matter. Here we untangle the threads of today's biggest headlines and neighbor issues. US President Donald Trump has listed India and Pakistan among 23 countries identified as major drug producing or transit nations. Other countries on the list including Afghanistan, China, Burma, Bolivia, Venezuela, and more. According to a presidential determination submitted to Congress, these nations, by producing or enabling the movement of illegal narcotics and precursor chemicals, pose a potential threat to U.S. security. The White House clarified that the list flags countries serving as sources or transit points for drugs entering the U.S., not necessarily due to government inaction. Some countries like Afghanistan and Venezuela were specifically criticized for failing to curb narcotics production. The U.S. State Department emphasized that geographic and economic conditions often make drug production or transit possible. While India appears on the list, it has a strong anti-narcotics law and enforcement. The listing seems influenced more by global trade routes and geopolitical factors than actual laxity. India should actively highlight its efforts internationally to protect its global reputation. US President Donald Trump announced that the anti-fascist movement, Antifa, will be designated as major terrorist organization. The announcement comes days after the assassination of right-wing influencer Charlie Kirk on September 10 and is part of Trump's broader effort to crack down on left-wing extremism. In a post on Truth Social, Trump described Antifa as a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster and warned that anyone funding the movement would be investigated. Antifa, short for anti-fascist, is a loosely affiliated network of local activists across the US and a few other countries with no central leadership. This is not the first time Trump has called Antifa a terrorist group. He made similar statement during nationwide protests in 2020 after George Floyd's killing. The move aligns with his previous actions, including declaring drug cartels as terrorist organizations and authorizing strikes against threats to U.S. security. Mehbooba Mufti, PDP chief, claimed she was placed under house arrest to prevent her from visiting support to control the death of former Hariyat chairman Abdul Ghani Bhatt. She accused the BJP of ignoring public anguish and using unrest for political gain. Following the Hazrat Bal Shrine controversy, Mufti called public anger a loud, unmistakable message. People's Conference Chief Sajad Lone and Hariyat Chairman Mirwais Umar Farooq also said they were confined to their homes, preventing them from attending Bhatt's funeral. Mirwais called it unbearable cruelty, highlighting restrictions on political leaders in Kashmir. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a warm phone call with Nepal's interim Prime Minister Sushila Phaki, expressing condolences for the recent loss of lives during violent Gen Z protests in Kathmandu that toppled the previous government. Modi reaffirmed India's steadfast support for Nepal in restoring peace and stability and conveyed greetings on Nepal's National Day. Normalcy has returned in Kathmandu and the government declared September 17th a public holiday to mark a National Day of Mourning. Karki also announced that those killed in the protest will be declared martyrs. Aaron Khan's directorial debut, The Bags of Bollywood, is streaming on Netflix and receiving positive responses from the Bollywood fraternity. Shah Rukh Khan shared a glimpse saying, "Ab jo bolega, ye show bolega." Vijay Verma called it a crazy show, while filmmaker Rahul Dholakia described the first episode as spoofy and goofy entertainment. Producer Sunita Gwadikar praised Aryan for creating a funny and engaging series. Veteran filmmaker Mahesh Bhatt highlighted the pressure star kids face but said Shah Rukh Khan's guidance likely helped Aryan shine. The premiere saw a star-studded turnout and the series is being called both goofy and entertaining. The Indian rupee fell 16 paise to 88.01 against US dollar on Thursday following the Federal Reserve's quarter point rate cut and signals of further easing. The currency opened at 87.93 before touching the day's low. Analysts expect range-bound movement ahead of US-India trade tariff discussions. Meanwhile, Brent crude traded at $67.87 per barrel. Domestic markets saw gains with Sensex up 447.5 points to 83,141.21 and Nifty rising 118.7 points to 25,448.95. Despite foreign institutional investors selling rupees 1,124.54 crore, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal expects India's exports to grow 6% this year. Pakistan and Saudi Arabia signed a strategic mutual defense agreement on September 17th, committing to defend each other in case of external aggression. Signed by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and Pakistan PM Shehbaz Sharif, the pact states that an attack on either country will be treated as an aggression against both. A joint statement emphasized strengthening regional security, defense cooperation, and joint deterrence. India, which maintains cordial ties with Saudi Arabia, responded cautiously. MEA spokesperson Ranveer Jaiswal said India will study the implications for national security, regional stability, and global peace, reaffirming the government's commitment to safeguarding India's interest. The pact follows the Doha summit, where 40 Islamic nations discussed forming a NATO-like alliance after recent tensions involving Hamas. Pakistan remains the only Islamic nation with nuclear capabilities, making the agreement strategically significant for South Asia and the broader region. Atletico Madrid coach Diego Simon had a heated scuffle with Liverpool fans following a 3-2 Champions League defeat at Anfield on September 17th. Virgil van Dijk's stoppage-time goal sealed Liverpool's win, sparking Simon's reaction to repeated insults from the crowd. Stewards intervened and Atletico manager received a red card. At the post-match press conference, Simon expressed regret but explained, "I am a person, 90 minutes of insults take a toll." Marcos Llorente scored twice for Atletico, but Van Dijk ultimately became the match hero, handing Liverpool a dramatic victory in the dying moments. Scientists have discovered a rare Einstein cross with 5 images instead of the usual 4, observing the distant galaxy HER-S3. Astronomers Pierre Cox, Charles Keaton, and Andrew Baker noticed an unexpected 5th image near the central lensing galaxy. Regular gravitational lensing by foreground galaxies couldn't explain it. Computer models reveal that a dark matter halo at the center likely caused the anomaly, offering a rare opportunity to study invisible cosmic structures. The discovery sheds light on dark matter, which makes the most of the universe but remains unseen. Findings will appear in the Astrophysical Journal. Loka Chapter 1, starring Kalyani Priyadarshan and backed by Dulquer Salman, has emerged as a major box office success. After 21 days, the Malayalam film has earned Rs 126.90 crore, surpassing Alia Bhatt's Razi to become the 4th highest grossing female-led Indian film. The movie collected 50 crore from the Malayalam market alone. Part of a planned 5-film universe, Loka has made Kalyani Priyadarshan a breakout star. The second installment will feature Tovino Thomas. Despite limited reach in the Hindi belt, the film continues to gain acclaim for its content and innovative treatment. Australia has set a new climate goal to reduce carbon emissions by 62 to 70% from 2005 levels by 2035, a significant jump from the previous 43% cut by 2030 announced by Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. The target follows recommendations from the Climate Change Authority and aligns with the 2015 Paris Agreement's aim to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Albanese highlighted that the plan is science-based and relies on proven technology technologies. The commitment will be formally presented at the UN General Assembly. Australia, one of the highest per capita polluters, faces extreme climate impacts including droughts, bushfires, floods, and coral bleaching at the Great Barrier Reef. Studies warn of heatwave deaths, rising sea levels affecting 1.5 million people, and property losses of $611 billion without stronger action. This world target shows Australia stepping up to climate responsibility while addressing urgent environmental threats. Now, time for today's tale from India's glorious past. Did you know India has a long history of freedom and civilization, and for thousands of years, it largely avoided external invasions. Until the early 17th century, India was one of the richest nations on earth, but British colonization changed everything. Robert Clive personally amassed a fortune of 4,01,102 euros from Bengal in the 1750s. By 1901, the total treasure looted by the British from India had reached 1 billion euros. Adjusted for inflation, this amounts to nearly $1 trillion today, a staggering loss of wealth from one of the world's most advanced civilizations. India's history is not just ancient, it is a story of prosperity disrupted by foreign exploitation. For more such global updates, please subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon, and do visit our website.